But touch on that a little bit. What are some of the future goals that you have with specifically getting content out there, helping probably the existing students that you work with, but also, beyond that, that's the beauty of putting out some of this video content. What's your philosophy? What direction are you headed in? And elaborate a little bit more than what you mentioned a little earlier.
For sure. Yeah, the content, I've had this, I've been like, okay, I want to start a YouTube channel for the longest time, but what am I going to put on there? I envisioned, okay, I'll put some Pilates stuff on there, but there was part of me that just felt like, no, it's not quite it.
Mhm.
And then I realized I want to jump outside the box a little bit because I want people to have fun. I mean, I love working out, but I am not the greatest self-motivator. That's why I have an aerial silk in my loft, because I need something like that to motivate. When it's just me alone, I'm probably not going to motivate myself to do a Pilates routine. Like, I still have to go to classes. I mean, I'll spend time in the studio. If I'm in the studio and classes are over, I'll work out. I'll stay in the studio, I'll put on some music, I'll work out and I'll enjoy it. But when I'm at home, I don't have as much motivation. I get distracted.
Yes.
So I felt like I'm going to put some content out there that's fun and has people excited, and it'll definitely be inspired by dance.
Yes.
I may put some videos on there that are just like, okay, here's how you engage your glutes.
Mhm.
And then I haven't decided quite how it's going to go. It might go right into, and you can try these movements to have some fun, engage your glutes, and then do this and kind of go into some movement parts. So if there's someone who just wants the Pilates piece, they can get it. And then if they want to continue on with the video, do some fun movement, they can. So I'm trying to, I'm still working on the creative aspect of that, but I just feel like, yeah, I know a lot of people who just want to have fun, and I'm very similar,
Yes.
but I also believe in functionality. I mean,
Mhm.
I love the piece. I love teaching Pilates because I love being precise, and precision is a part of it too. I don't want to just be loosey goosey with it all.
Yeah.
I was trained in ballet, precision is a big
Mhm.
piece too. So tying those two things together is definitely an art form.
Yes. And I think one of these days, if we ever connect in person, I would love to take a Pilates class from you, because I imagine that your clients have a good mix of everything where, they really, really take some of the instruction that you're giving them, and it's fun at the same time, because that is, that's the challenge, right? That's like the art of teaching or instructing anything. Is like, you can have all of the right answers, the precision and things, but if people don't want to continue, it's kind of pointless, right? And then if people only have extreme, excessive amounts of fun, that's great, right? But if they're not progressing or learning how to use this knowledge, then it's kind of like, okay, how can we make it a little better? So I can imagine that you have this good blend for all of your clientele, that they really enjoy the classes, but it's also very productive. And maybe it might be in a way that they don't even realize it in the moment because it's so enjoyable, so much fun. But when weeks and months pass on, they're gonna start to notice the improvements, notice how they're moving, notice their strength. So one of these days, yeah, I will. I'm looking forward to all of the content, but hopefully one of these days, maybe you could show me a little bit Pilates, and I would be not as, got to lower expectations a little bit, even though I do strength and conditioning, because Pilates is a whole different animal, and I know how challenging it is. But overall, that's great information to hear from you. What other things do you think you're trying to put out in the future that you've learned over your career beyond the YouTube stuff, I guess? Because I know you have a lot of things going on. So if you mention your website, any other social media things that you're working on, what other things would you like to share?
Well, definitely I'm excited about the content. And as far as my career, on the flip side of just creating fun content, I love it when people come to me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I stepped foot on the golf course for the first time in 5 years. I didn't think I could I'm thinking of one person who told me that, like, I didn't think I would ever play golf again. Thank you so much. And that's another part of it that I love, is just functionality so I love teaching, and I'm sure you can relate with that, just getting people back into like functioning, not only how they want to function, but also just enjoying life.
Yes.
And that's why I do what I do. So I guess, I'm focusing on, I don't know that I think I'll have my YouTube channel for sure. And I may have a Patreon where it goes a little more in depth and people can subscribe and become members.
Yes.
And so I'm kind of in the creation process of all that as far as what direction I'm heading.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely want to speak to both ends of functionality across the board, just having people, be able to zip up and down the stairs and use their bodies in the way they want to use them and enjoy doing movement, maybe, step outside the box a little bit. My company, my alterations company, is called Born So Wild, like SEW, Born So
Got
Wild.
it. Yes.
So I don't, I'm big on having, stepping outside the box and having a good time with whatever you're doing. And so I tie that into whatever I'm up to.
Yes. That is, I like how everything you're doing is coming together. I mean, even utilizing, your fashion background and doing alterations I'm sure that's something that you enjoy in a little different way than, some of the physical activities, but it's always great to hear all of the things that you got going on. And so for everyone, again, the little backstory is that you are the podcast show notes writer, and I'm so glad to have gotten connected to you. So usually when I say that'll be in the show notes, that's kind of your cue for, okay, let's dig up some of this information and put it in the show notes. But you obviously know all of the things that you got going on. So you will be putting your own show notes or your links in there, but be sure to check out all of those things. I mean, even if you're in the Kansas City area, and I would say that's such a specialty thing for alterations for leather, because I would assume that not every place would do that. So, if you're looking for those types of things, or if you just want to get connected, I'm sure you'll put it in your contact info for all of these things. And I will be sure to update this as we go along. So when you do get your content up there, your YouTube channel, we're working on very similar things, I feel like, and it takes a lot of time, but when you do get it up there, we'll be sure to add that as well so people can find you.